Intro music.
A star for the ages for Tony Gwynn, number 3,000.
They have acquired Eric Johnson and Fernando Tatis Jr. from the White Sox in exchange for James Shield.
Welcome to Slam Diego!
My name is Joey.
My name is James.
And this is the Brothers Padre. And on this episode, James, we're recapping another week in Padres baseball.
A successful week.
It's just, I'm hesitant to say this. This is playing out a little bit like last year, minus the great pitching depth.
So I'm gonna push back a little bit on that.
Right. Okay.
We did not have as good a record last year,
Right,
as we did this year. We actually started off pretty slow last year. We picked up around this time.
Right.
Our offense was popping last year.
Yep.
Our pitching, we really only had Darvish and Musgrove were the only two good, reliable starters. Mm-hmm. And they're still two really reliable starters of 7. And so last year we started off with half of our pitching staff getting Tommy John surgery.
Right.
Our offense definitely has not done anything for us.
No, not at all.
But it's not popping like anything else isn't popping. Nobody's offense is popping.
Right.
But we're winning.
Yes. Winning is good, James.
Winning is good.
Shall we jump into it?
Okay. Game 1 of this week was Friday the 13th, Joey.
Ooh, spooky.
In Atlanta.
Ooh, the spookiest place on earth? Not even the top 5.
I mean, not even in the top 5 of this country.
Yeah.
I mean, spookiest place in this country, you'd have to go with like New Orleans, Fresno.
Shout out to Fresno.
Anyways, so Friday the 13th, the Padres go to Atlanta and we win 11-6. Darvish gave up 5 runs, but ended up winning the game. Kim, Myers, and Hosmer all got 3 hits, so our offense was popping that day. Mm-hmm. And we ended up winning. And again, this is probably the first time that our bullpen didn't give up all the runs.
Right.
Our starter did.
Yeah.
Game 2, the Padres lost 6-5, and I'm taking personal responsibility for this one.
Yeah, you should.
Because a week prior to this, I wasn't able to watch the game, and I left you in charge, and we lost.
Yep.
And I was also unable to watch this game, and I left you in charge again.
Yeah, I mean, what have you learned from this?
Never leave you in charge of the Padres. Sean Manaea easily had the best start as a Padre. 7 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts.
It was incredible. He was on fire.
And Steven Wilson had the worst relief pit appearance of his career so far and ended up having a loss, gave up all the runs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they say.
But we didn't lose by that much, and I'm encouraged by Sean Manaea just dominating a good Braves team. Game 3, the Padres ended up winning in the 11th inning, 7-3. Joe Musgrove, 6 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts. Kim and Myers just led the offense this game. They knocked in pretty much all of the runs, and I simply wrote, Nabil Crismatt is the man.
Yeah. Incredible 2 innings relief pitching, 9th and the 10th. Just absolutely electric stuff.
And this is the thing that bugged me about Nabil Crismatt. Everybody on Twitter was like, oh my goodness, Nabil's the best. Nabil's the man. You and I have been on the Nabil train
For a while.
Right. I believe I put him as the MVP of last year.
That's what Joe Musgrove said at the last interview last year. It was like, listen, the most underrated person in all of Padres is Nabil Crismatt. And he's right.
And he's right. He's right. And that start was like, oh wow, he is dominating them. And the whole dugout went nuts when he hit 94 in the miles per hour because
it's pretty awesome.
He's been working on his velocity, and there's the Polaroid now, the legendary Polaroid, which they have to sell.
Yeah,
that photo album at the end of the year, or at least make duplicates so we can all have a different photo. Snell's behind him holding up 4. That's because he hit 94. And anyways, everyone loves Chrismat. He's awesome, and we won 11th inning. Do you have anything to say about the Atlanta series?
Yeah, I predicted that if our offense wasn't going to wake up, we lose 2 from Atlanta. I was very encouraged by us. Like Max Fried, like the Friday game was like the first game, I think, all year where the Padres did well against a really good pitcher. Like offensively did well.
Yes.
And that, I mean, I could be wrong by memory, but I feel like Max Fried's a very good pitcher.
And Max Fried always turns it up a tad.
Yeah, I mean, like he's incredible against us. Like he pitched a complete game shutout against us last year, and like he had a sub-1 ERA against us, I believe, or sub-2 ERA in his career against us, right? And so and we really did a good job. We had a good game plan. The ball was traveling. Yeah, it was something where I was like very impressed that we had such a great offensive outlook this whole series. It really, yeah, I felt like this series felt the most, I hate saying vintage 2020 because that's a dumb thing to say, but like I feel like that was minus Tatis. It felt like that was a very 2020 series.
I have one thing to say about this series.
Okay.
So this series, we had the privilege of having 2 games broadcasted by different broadcasters.
Oh, that's right.
Apple TV and Peacock.
Uh-huh.
What did you think of those 2 broadcasts?
I think the Apple TV broadcast was really cool looking.
It was an 8K. There was a million extra camera angles. Yeah.
It was really cool looking. I mean, I don't really listen to national broadcasts anyway, because they just don't. It's hard when you listen to Don and Mud, who are so funny. And it's like part of the joy of watching Padres baseball is like, oh, these guys are going to crack each other up. And even when Don and Mark Sweeney, like Don still carries it and makes it so entertaining. And national broadcasts are just, they're not very exciting. There are very few national broadcasters that I find like actually engaging. And so the Apple TV one was better. It wasn't great. The Peacock one was just awful. I did not like the Peacock one at all.
See, I just wrote, the lady that did the broadcast was all right. And I realized I should have written her name down, but I also didn't write the name of the guy who did the Peacock.
I couldn't even tell you. I know Andrew Jones was on it, and he was awful for the Peacock.
He was.
No offense to Andrew Jones, but
I mean, I thought that was fun when Andrew Jones and Mark Sweeney were having debates with each other, but that guy was terrible, and I didn't write his name down either. And so basically I wrote, all right, the Apple TV one felt like we were watching a World Series production.
Right.
8K, multiple camera shots. The Peacock broadcast felt like we were watching a show on Peacock.
Yeah.
Not good enough for the main network.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Philadelphia, Joseph.
The city of brotherly love. You know why it's called that?
No.
I don't know either. I was hoping you were going to answer.
Probably has something to do with the revolution or something.
You know, like LA is City of Angels, right? Los Angeles, like obviously.
Yeah.
So is Philadelphia like brothers?
Phillies, I don't know, Joe.
I'm really hoping that you did, because this bit is dying.
This is dying. I mean, you should have looked this up.
No. What's the fun of that?
Anyways, Game 4, the Padres won 3-0.
Yep.
It was the first time we were trying a piggyback starter situation. Mike Clevenger started the game. 5 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts. Obviously shut the Phillies out because they didn't score a single run. Mackenzie Gore came in relief. 3 innings of work, 4 strikeouts. Mm-hmm. And then Taylor Rogers got the save. I thought this was great.
Yeah.
Saved the bullpen.
Yep.
Saved the bullpen, saved the world.
Yep. It was nice that Bryce Harper was not in this lineup. So, we have that.
Okay, so a lot of people who are Padre haters out there, like, oh, well, we didn't have to face the Braves, the Acuna Jr., or the Phillies with Bryce Harper. Yeah, they didn't have to face us without Tatis Jr. Right. So, you know what?
Yeah.
Shut up. We call that even.
I will say that this Phillies lineup, I never felt like it was cool. Like, oh, we're fine. Because Castellanos and Schwarber, they just like flick their bat and it's like a 500-foot home run. They go, okay.
True.
I never felt. And Rhys Hoskins is a dude as well. Like they all are. That's still a very powerful lineup. Like, I don't know. Even without Bryce Harper, they're a very scary lineup. And I think that it speaks much of how good the Padres rotation is.
Yes. Game 2, on the other hand, game 5 of the week, we lost 3-0.
Yeah.
We did another piggyback situation. Snell and Martinez. Snell's first start of the year. He didn't go. He went just under 4 innings, 3.2 innings, but he had 5 strikeouts. So he did have some really good stuff. He just was not hitting his spots and gave up 3 runs. And Martinez came out and shut them down for 5 innings.
Looked incredible.
Yes. So, do I want them to keep doing this? I think it would be great.
Right.
And I think all the the Snell hate, it's his first start
Yeah.
back.
And like 3 runs, once again, give up 3 runs to that lineup is pretty good.
Keep in mind, the Dodgers in 4 games gave up 33 runs to them the previous series. All right.
Yeah. This is a very scary lineup. One more thing about Snell, like, man, is he just not? I was hoping he wouldn't get in his head again. There's something about watching Snell. He gets more tilted. He gets more. The worse he gets, like the more grumpy he gets on the mound. I think it can turn around, but man, it's kind of frustrating to watch because he doesn't hit his spots, and it's just like tons of full counts. And I get it. I'm not a major league pitcher. Whatever. I'm obviously not winning his life as he is, but like as an entertainment, it's just so. I hope I know his first start. And I think he's enough talent to be better. But man, oh man, it's just the lack of efficiency is just brutal. Especially when Nick Martinez comes in and like has like 2 subsequent sub 15 pitch innings from the bullpen, and like Blake Snell's stuff is objectively better than Nick Martinez.
Oh yes,
but it just when Blake Snell isn't hitting the spots, it becomes like, oh, every slider that you like, if he's not hitting the high fastball and he's not getting the backdoor slider, it's like it's game over. Like you just can't do anything with that.
If we get 2020 August and September Snell, it's lights out.
Right.
And that's Cy Young winning Snell.
Yeah.
He just needs to get in the groove, and he's a real head case player.
Right.
Anyway, but again, I still like Snell. I still think objectively he has some of the best stuff in our entire rotation, and we have the best rotation in baseball.
Right. Yeah.
The final game of the week, Game 6, that happened today, actually. The Padres won 2-0. Darvish was dominating. Mm-hmm. 7 innings of shutout ball, 5 strikeouts. At no point did you think he did not have control of the game.
109 pitches?
Yeah, most pitches he's thrown all year.
Awesome.
Even when it wasn't till like the 5th inning, the Phillies had anybody on second base.
Yeah.
And even then, it was 2 outs, and you didn't think that Darvish wasn't going to get out of it.
Right.
He completely dominated. Our offense this particular game had a singles night.
Yep.
Everybody got at least 1 hit, and they were all singles.
How many hits were there? 10?
10.
Wild.
Just the thing is, like, we should have learned from the first game, hit it to Schwarber, and you'll get a triple.
Oh, my gosh. So, Mil Myers scores in this game from a sac fly. Kyle Schwarber's so short in left field. Like any other left fielder gets Will Myers.
Oh, yeah.
But Schwarber's arm is so bad. Like he's not. I'm willing to say that like Schwarber was in shallow left field.
He was definitely in shallow left field because the shortstop almost caught the ball.
Just like, and Will Myers still beat it out. I don't know. It was wild. It was a wild. But we won. Another shutout.
We did win. I mean, we got shut out 1 game, but we shut them out 2 games.
Yeah.
The Padres now lead the majors in quality starts. We have 20 quality starts of the year.
Wild.
The next closest is the Brewers with 16.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yep.
And that was the end of the week. I predicted 4-2.
I picked it 3-3.
You did. So I think this is the first time I was ever exactly correct.
Yeah, you haven't been exactly correct in a long time. Now,
I think we might have to check the tapes for next.
Now, the problem is, of course, the second half of last year, we were wrong so much. we
would just constantly be like, we can't lose every game next week, can we?
Oh, my sweet summer child. Yes, you can. Yeah, the series was interesting because I feel like the storyline of the Padres for this year is still consistent, which is that we are dominant pitching. We have an abundance of pitching, but we didn't hit a single home run this series.
No.
And that is alarming a little bit to me. Not a little bit. It's alarming because, Tatis doesn't save this situation. In this game today, there was no extra base hits. I don't know. It's still, good pitching will win every game. That is the adage of baseball. Good pitching and great defense, will get you the playoffs and could even win you the World Series, right? That's true.
That is true. And also, none of the Phillies even got extra base hits. It was like a singles day.
It was in general this series. I just was expecting. I said this a little bit ago, but I was expecting Schwarber, Rhys Hoskins, and Castellanos to go off because they're that good of players. They can drive the ball and obliterate baseballs.
They're all players that can carry a team.
Real Mutu and Gene Segura is like a very competent hitter. It is a scary lineup. Right.
Again, they scored 33 runs off the Dodgers.
Right. Yeah. To me, I was just, the Phillies have good starting pitching. That is true. And Zach Wheeler in the second game was incredible.
Zach Wheeler of old.
He's just, when he's on, it's just like, what? This is unfair. That sinker he has and the fastball, it's just, he plays them off so well. And you're just like, I get it. Okay. I get it why you're an ace and you're considered always a top 5 Cy Young candidate when you're like this. But it just felt like we weren't driving the ball that much, especially coming off of Atlanta series where we were driving the ball a ton.
True.
It just seems like, I don't know. I wonder if this is a fluke. I wonder if maybe the abnormality is the Atlanta series, and maybe what we should rely on is the Phillies series.
I will say one thing. The Padres hitting the ball singles to opposite fields against the shifts are way more encouraging because nobody in baseball is really doing that.
Right.
Will Myers getting singles against the shift, Trent Grisham getting singles against the shift are all encouraging things.
Robinson Cano hitting balls against the shift.
Yes.
Today's one was not against the shift. Nearly killed Will Myers. But.
Nearly took Will Myers' head off.
So if you didn't watch the game, totally fine. Only judge you a little bit, Padres fans. But Will Myers was at first base. Kim was on third, and Cano hits a screaming liner between the first second base, almost right at Will Myers. Will Myers ducks and just loses his helmet, hits the ground because it nearly took his head off. Will Myers then picks up his helmet, puts it back on, and then runs to third. Yes. If Will Myers is that player, that's a pretty good sign. It's just a guy that goes first to third, gets tons of singles, makes good enough at bats. We're in a much better place.
Keeps the lineup rolling. Yes.
Right. And actually, you know what? Come think about the series. I think Trent actually, even though he doesn't have a great series, he didn't strike out that much this series, and he did actually do tons of fly balls, and so that is encouraging. And he let off this game. Cronenworth had his first day off to his game. There are some encouraging signs, but just, man, it's just so weird not having home runs. It's odd. It's odd to not have
any home runs. You're
Especially
right.
in Philly. Like Philly's like a hitter's paradise. But you think about it, the only home run they hit was Rhys Hoskins in the second game.
Yes.
Weird.
It was a weird series, absolutely. So before we get into the really weird topic,
Okay.
let's do our predictions for next week.
Okay.
3 games in San Francisco, then 3 games at home against the Brewers.
The Giants games are like of all the games we play, Giants games at Oracle Park are like I don't know why I hate watching them. Maybe because they start so late. They start 7:15 Pacific time. Like, why do you start so late, San Francisco? And then it just like it feels like every game's 3-2 and it takes 6 hours, and it's only 9 innings. And it just feels like I don't know what it's about Giants games. My association with Giants games at Oracle Park with the Padres, it's just it takes so long. It's not a super thrilling game, and Giants baseball is I don't know. It's just not. I don't like watching the Rays play, and so yeah, I don't like watching the Giants play. It's just it's just like, oh, we're gonna have 15 pitch hitters, we're gonna have tons of arm angles. This is for me to say, I want to win 2 games this weekend. I think that we're in a much better spot than they are when it comes to starting pitching, and I think that will heat us well. So I think 2 against the Giants, and the Brewers are tough because we're not going to face Burns or Woodruff, but we'll face Peralta and Lauer, and of course Lauer being an ex-Padre. You know how that narrative plays out.
I understand. I guess because it's San Diego, and why would you not want to live in San Diego? And everyone's just bitter because there are other players that are ex-players for the teams that don't. Nobody cares that you're an ex-player for the Pirates.
Right, no one does. No, they always ex-Padres players always do well, and Lauer's having a good year
Because they just sit there and they're like, I could have gotten a fish taco today, but no, they traded me to Milwaukee.
I think, yeah, I suspect. I think if I look at this past year, I have to say 4-2. But the person in me says it's still going to be 3-3 because I still think we have a lot to prove against good pitching, and like the Brewers have great pitching, so it's just really, really tough for me to say that we're going to win. So I'm going to say 3-3 again. Actually,
I'm also going to say 4-2 because I'm just a better person than you are.
Yeah, I mean that's been established.
Okay, 3-3 from you, 4-2 from me. So first, let's talk about one fun thing.
Okay.
Before we go into the other one, the San Antonio Missions, our AA team, have now pitched 2 no-hitters in the last 3 games.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. First time it's ever happened in minor league or even major league history.
Yep.
So that's really great. So congratulations to all of the people that I don't know any of their names in the San Antonio Missions. Well done.
I think, yeah, I mean, we're going to talk briefly about the piggyback situation.
Yes.
But Adrian Morejon is pitching in San Antonio right now. His rehab outing today, he touched 99 already. Pretty good for a post Tommy John.
Yes. And for somebody that could definitely piggyback,
Yeah.
he's a starter.
Yep.
That would be great. And also, I love this idea of piggybacking starters.
Yeah.
It's just great. I like it a lot.
I think I agree with some people that this should be spread out. So, like, it shouldn't be back to back. It should be like, okay, so Snell will get a piggyback, or like more, or like basically you wouldn't have it always be Mike Clevenger at piggyback and then Snell would. However, as people know, like they're both Clevenger and Snell are both coming back from injury, and they both have inning limits, and so does Mackenzie Gore. And if you aren't aware what we mean piggyback is, Padres are going forward with something that Astros have done for a while now with Christian Javier, which is you have a pitcher that can pitch a bunch of bulk innings, be a starter or a multi-inning reliever, and you basically you're saying one starter goes 4 to 5 innings, and the next starter goes however long they can go. So finish up the game effectively. Happened this week with Nick Martinez replacing Snell and Gore with Clevenger.
I also think if it's going to be these 4 guys, have Gore start, and Clevenger relieve.
Yeah, there's no reason why you can't flip them around, especially if you think that like one-handedness is, especially if you think that a team has a better handedness, right? So like if you have more better right-handed, if an opposing team has better right-handed hitters, flip them around or whatever. Like I totally agree with that. Yeah, I really like the idea. I mean, we have an abundance of great talented of starters, and our bullpen up to the ninth inning isn't great. So
No. It literally has been Steven Wilson, Bill Chrismat, and Taylor Rogers.
yeah.
Everybody else has been a roll of the dice.
And I mean, today's game, I thought Luis Garcia should probably have done he faced 3 and that was the whole plan. And then Taylor Rogers did a 4-out save, which I felt was like too much because he pitched so much anyway.
He's leading the league in saves. He passed Josh Hader. He's won more than Josh Hader of the Brewers.
Yeah. And to me, but I also get it. Luis Garcia is like and same as Suarez. One game they look incredible, and then the very next game it's just like, oh, I'm gonna get up 3 runs. And so I get it. Padres are a little apprehensive. So I think the piggybacking is great. Minimize bullpen innings. They come in when they need to come in.
If you have 7 quality starters,
Right.
and you don't want to do a 7-man rotation, this is the best way.
Right.
Also, later on this season, say Darvish starts to have back problems again.
Right.
All of a sudden, you no longer piggyback. Say, and it's way more flexible to have 7 really great starters.
Yep.
And maybe you say, hey, Darvish, you pitched 109 games last inning. We're going to piggyback you so you don't have to pitch that many, and we'll save your arm.
Right.
You're only going to pitch 5 innings.
Right.
And then, Gore will pitch the rest.
Right.
I think that makes sense too.
Yep. I'm interested to see how far we go with it. Obviously, like you said, injuries always happen in every Major League Baseball team, so especially in starters. So, but we're in a great place. We're still an incredible staff, and with Michelle Baez and Adrian Morejon, like we are going to get better.
Yes.
And so
We just need to improve our offense, which leads to the last topic.
Buster Olney, was it this morning? Yeah, this morning.
It was this morning.
Released an article saying rival executives in Major League Baseball, rival executives of the Washington Nationals have said that Juan Soto could be on the trading block, and that the Nationals would feel compelled to trade him this season, which has turned every fan base into a tizzy about like, well, we should get Juan Soto. We should
Because also in the article he said the Washington Nationals have the worst farm system.
right.
They want to replenish their farm system with stars. There's only 2 teams that have potentially several, if not a dozen or more, potential future stars in their team, in their farm systems right now. The Toronto Blue Jays and the San Diego Padres.
Right. Especially nearing like Major League readiness, right? And
Stars that can be stars within a year or 2.
And it's fun to think about because I think we talked about this. Maybe we talked about it off air, but like, yeah, if there's one player I would trade every good prospect the Padres had, not every, but most of them, it'd be Juan Soto.
I agree.
Like
I absolutely agree.
I like Mike Trout. I like Shohei Ohtani. Obviously, they're both great players. Obviously, I don't need
to tell me that. I know.
But Juan Soto's 23 years old. Dude is literally like the second coming of Ted Williams. Right? The dude is so young, has the greatest eye in baseball when it comes to strike zone, hits the crap out of the ball, and is 23 years old. He is still on his rookie contract. He is a free agent after the 2024 season. So he's going to become a free agent at 25, 26, and be given a very nice contract. But he is so good at the plate. He is an incredible hitter. And he's proven at every level. He's won a World Series. Like, Nothing gets to him. So yes, if AJ Preller gets a call from Mike Rizzo, the manager of the Washington Nationals, and if I was AJ Preller, if I did like a Freaky Friday situation where I became AJ Preller, I would say, whatever you want, Mike Rizzo. Just
So
here's my untouchables. Here's my touchables. Like, here's,
So as you know, I'm a frequent guest on the Coach John Quintero show.
do I know that?
I call it a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I called in.
Some of us are busy at 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Wow. Fair enough. Anyway, so everyone was talking about it, and this is what I got through, and I told him, I've been a Padre fan since I was 6 years old.
Right.
I'm almost 40.
Uh-huh.
I have cheered for a lot of bad Padre teams.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I have never gone a single year where I haven't gone to at least 3 baseball games.
Mm-hmm.
Even where we've had literally no... Will Venable has been our best player.
Yeah. Hey, shout out Will Venable, though. He was a good player for a little bit.
Bench coach for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Anyways. And I said, I would hate to lose Gore. I think he might be the best. Like, he's probably going to be a future star Cy Young winner.
Yeah.
But I want a championship.
Yeah.
I want a World Series trophy. If that means giving up the farm system. I texted you because after the San Antonio Missions got their second no-hitter, can we just trade all the San Antonio Mission players to
Nationals.
to the Nationals? Because I would give up Abrams, Campusano, Mears, Hassler III, and Woods.
Yeah.
All players that have superstar potential for Juan Soto.
Right.
And if they want Ryan Weathers, I'm going to give them Ryan Weathers. All right? Yeah. If they want Knapp, his name, the college pitcher of the year last year.
Cooper Cups,
Yeah. Give him that too. I will give up 10 of our superstar prospects for Juan Soto. If somehow we can keep our major league team the way it is,
right,
and trade all of our prospects, that is not even a question of do or don't.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's an insane package, but it's. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't like. I don't think we've seen this talented of a player this young being a free agent and tradable since Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's no one. Like Juan Soto could hit 700 home runs and have 3,000 plus hits in his career. And that's just not, I'm not like speaking out of school. Like that's.
And he could potentially have those younger than anybody else in baseball history.
Yeah. Like just like A-Rod. There really hasn't, especially in like the past 15 years, there hasn't really been a guy who's been this talented, this young that could potentially be traded.
Also, people keep saying, "Oh, well, we can't have $300 million contracts."
Yeah.
Okay, then we don't. If we have them for 2 years, the same 2 years we have Snell, Darvish, and a bunch of other of our superstars still under contract, that means we have 2 years to potentially win a World Series.
Right.
Okay, then the Angels sign him for $500 million.
Right.
Or the Rangers will sign up for $500 million. Those are really the only 2 teams that will probably give him a $500 million contract.
Right.
He deserves it.
Right.
Okay, then we have him for 2 years and we win 2 World Series.
And if we get him this year, we have 2.5 seasons of him. Like
true.
3 opportunities with him. And
true.
Also, I will say this once again to Padre fans. The Padres ownership group isn't funded by taxpayer money. It's not our money.
I know.
So
I know.
I don't care if they have $300+ million contracts. I don't look at my face. I don't care.
He doesn't care, folks. I know his don't care face.
I don't care. I don't care if they have a $500 million contract. Like if somehow in this weird fantasy that Buster Olney concocted, let's be honest, his sources were other executives. And everyone says, of course, other executives want Juan Soto. because we're all getting excited about it. Of course,
Yeah.
they all know Juan Soto. So like,
It was his most read article he's written all year.
right. So it is a little bit of bait, but it's fun bait. But all that being said, like, if we get him, and then Peter Siler's like, hey, we signed up for a 12-year, $500 million contract. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like, yeah, right. Yeah. You know, and so, you know, I don't care. Like, it's not my bank account to fret over, right? It's theirs. I am a fan. I want to see good players play for the team that I root for. And so, Tatis, Soto, and Machado in top 3, yeah, I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 guys that are all potentially future Hall of Famers. Yeah, I wouldn't all sub 30 years old. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't mind it. I'd go to a ball game or 2 to see them play.
Yeah, I would buy season tickets.
No.
I will somehow figure a way to buy season tickets.
You know, I don't know. It'd be fun though. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to see. Juan Soto's a great personality too, like one of the funnier people in the game, like one of the funniest batters in the game. I think that's fair. That's a very fair.
Oh yeah, he's so much fun to watch. The Soto shuffle.
Yeah, and just a very he's very into mind game with the pitcher, and it's great. It's great. No.
But it's still just a fantasy.
It's still total fantasy. It would still be crazy to me if the Nationals actually went through with it. This guy just like fell into their lap of just like, oh, you know, this guy is the next generation of Ted Williams, and they're just going to get rid of it. And you mentioned this, that the learners are the owners of the Nationals, and they're interested in selling the team, and potentially the reason why they want to get rid of them is like selling a team with a lower payroll might be more attractive, and still super dumb, but
Lower payroll, but the thing is, they only have one good player, Juan Soto, and they don't have a farm system to prove that they could be a good team
built around him. Right?
built around him.
Yeah, but it sure be fun though. Mm-hmm. Old 22 as a Padre. Who wears 22 now in the
I don't care.
Nick Martinez? Yeah, Nick Martinez. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, sorry.
Change
you
your
can have 21.
Change your number. James. Anything else to talk about?
I think that's it.
We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. Thanks for listening to us. I appreciate it. And until next time, James, go Padres.
Go Padres.
And there it is! Ho ho, doctor! You can hang a star on that, baby!